I noticed something was off the moment she stepped out of the car. No smile, no greeting, not even a glance. She just brushed past me, her heels clicking sharply on the pavement as she headed toward the restaurant entrance. The night air was cold, but not as cold as the silence that followed her inside. We were supposed to meet her friends for dinner, something casual, something normal. I'd actually been looking forward to it. After weeks of distance between us, I thought maybe tonight could thaw whatever had been building. But the way she avoided my eyes, the tension in her jaw, it told me everything I didn't want to hear. Inside, laughter and clinking glasses filled the dimly lit room. Her friends greeted me with polite smiles, the kind that skim the surface and never reach the eyes. She took a seat at the far end of the table, leaving the chair next to her empty, as if it were meant for someone who wasn't me. Throughout dinner, she didn't say a single word to me. Not one. She laughed with her friends, leaned in close to whisper something to her best friend, and sipped her wine like nothing was wrong. But every so often, I caught her glancing at her phone, expression flickering for just a second, guilt, fear, before she locked the screen and placed it face down. I tried to start a conversation once. "Did you hear from your sister?" I asked, keeping it careful and casual. She looked at me, lips parting as if to speak, but then her eyes darted away. "She's fine," she muttered. And that was it. The silence grew heavier, pressing down on me until it felt hard to breathe. I kept wondering what I'd done wrong. Maybe I'd said something earlier that upset her. Maybe she was tired, stressed, distant for reasons that had nothing to do with me. But deep down, that quiet voice, the one you try to drown out, was whispering that it wasn't about me at all. It was about someone else. Her friend Lily sat across from me. She was trying too hard to act normal. Laughter a little too loud, eyes flicking toward my wife and then back to me. She looked nervous, almost guilty. I didn't know why until later. By dessert, I couldn't take it anymore. I excused myself to the restroom just to breathe, just to collect myself. When I came back, my plate was gone, my seat empty except for a folded piece of paper resting on the edge of the table. Lily met my eyes as I reached for it. She didn't say a word, just gave a tight nod before looking away. The note was small, handwritten in her familiar messy script. "Wait outside." My heart dropped. I glanced at my wife. She was still at the table, pretending to scroll through her phone, avoiding me completely. Whatever this was, she didn't want to say it in front of anyone. I slipped the note into my pocket and walked out. The night air hit me like a wave. Cold, biting, electric with dread. I stood under the yellow glow of the street lamp, breath fogging the air. Every minute felt longer than the last. Then she appeared, walking slowly toward me. Her face was unreadable. "What's going on?" I asked quietly. She stopped a few feet away, arms crossed, eyes on the ground. I didn't want to do this in front of them. "Do what?" Her jaw trembled for a second before she forced the words out. "End this." The sound of it cracked something inside me. I took a step forward. "End what? Dinner? This night? What are you talking about?" She shook her head. "Us." For a moment I couldn't process it. The word hung there, cruel and final. The noise from the restaurant drifted faintly through the door behind her. Laughter, clinking glasses, the world still spinning while mine stopped completely. "Why?" I whispered. She exhaled shakily, eyes glistening. "Because I can't keep lying to you." That voice inside me, the one I'd tried to silence, roared to life. Lying? She nodded, still looking down. It started small, coffee after work. I didn't mean for it to turn into anything, but it did. The streetlight flickered above us. Somewhere a car alarm went off in the distance, muffled and irrelevant. All I could hear was the blood pounding in my ears. "Who?" I asked, voice barely audible. She hesitated. "You don't know him. He's from my office." I closed my eyes, trying to stay upright. "How long?" 6 months. 6 months. Half a year of lies hidden behind tired smiles and late nights at work. 6 months of me wondering if the growing distance between us was my fault. I wanted to scream. I wanted to ask why she'd brought me here tonight. To sit across from her friends while she ignored me like a stranger. But I didn't. I just stood there, staring at the woman I thought I knew, realizing I'd lost her long before this moment. She started to cry, the quiet kind that comes from deep guilt, not grief. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she said. "I just couldn't stop it." I laughed, hollow and bitter. "You couldn't stop it? You could have. You chose not to." She flinched, but didn't deny it. "I know. I just didn't know how to tell you. I thought maybe it would fade, but it didn't." She shook her head slowly. There was nothing left to say. The silence between us was the only truth that remained. I looked at her one last time. The woman who once felt like home, and realized that home was gone. When I turned to leave, she reached out, fingers brushing my sleeve. "Please don't hate me," she whispered. I looked at her, and for a moment I saw flashes of all our years together. Late-night drives, shared laughter, promises made under city lights. I wanted to hold on to those memories, but they slipped away like smoke. "I don't hate you," I said quietly. "I just don't know who you are anymore." I walked to the car, hands shaking as I fumbled with the keys. Through the window, I saw her still standing there, small under the light, crying into her hands. As I drove away, I felt something inside me shatter. Not all at once, but in slow, deliberate pieces. The note was still in my pocket. I pulled it out at a red light, staring at the words, "Wait outside." For what? For the truth? For goodbye? Maybe both. By the time I got home, I realized something cruel but clear. She hadn't just ended us tonight. She'd ended us months ago, quietly, wordlessly, while I was still trying to fix something that was already gone. And the silence that had haunted me all evening wasn't confusion or anger. It was mourning.